Hey everybody, welcome to Home Recording Demystified. So one of the things over the years I have been asked about lots and lots of times is how to make backing tracks for your band. Now this is a lengthy process, but it's not necessarily, super difficult. So I'm just going to show you what I do. Generally what I do is I download tracks from a website called Karaoke Version. Now, the plus side is, you'll see the plus side is you get all the stems. The downside is you may not find the song you want, and then you're on your own. You have to find the stems for that song. Sometimes you might have to pay somebody to create the stems for you. But in this case, I'm just going to show you. So I have an account. I've bought 37 files like in the last 5 or 6 years. And what I do is I'll just go here. I'm going to try not to play any of this audio because I don't want my thing to be blocked, my video to be blocked on YouTube. But here we have Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves. And you'll see here that you have tracks for that song. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there's 14 tracks. Now what I do is I go through and I solo the track that I want. So in this case, I don't think I'll get copyrighted for the click track. So I will come down here, I will download that track. And that's my click. Then what I will do is I will go and solo the next track, which is the drum kit. And then I will solo the next track, and I will have percussion. So I will just solo all these tracks, download them. Usually takes about 10 minutes, depending on your internet speed. I download them all. I pan them all center, and I don't touch the volume. And I just download the tracks. Now, once I've downloaded those tracks, I'll go to Reaper, and I'll take those tracks and fly them in. And you do that by, you get a new session here. You go to Insert, Media File. I will pick just some, random media. Let's just say these are all my Katrina and the Waves. I do that. It says insert multiple media items on separate tracks or single track. I want separate tracks. So there I have them. They jumped into the middle, but that's not a big deal. I'll hit select all, and I'll grab them all, throw them up against the left side. And so then I'll have all my individual tracks. Now at this point, I'm just going to move away from that. I'm going to go to an original song where I have all my separate tracks. And now you can hear music, and I'm not going to get copyrighted. So what I have here is the full version of my song. Got all my tracks here. Here's my click on the top. Then I have my song. So what I do here is I'll take the click and I pan it right here. I pan it hard left. Then I'll select the rest of these tracks and pan them all hard right. So right now I have all the music coming out of one side and the click coming out of another. They're mono, okay? This method will not give you stereo tracks. That's a lot more complicated. I'm not going to get into that. I don't do it. I just never saw the need to do stereo backing tracks. Now, what I will do at this point is figure out what instruments I need. So generally for a backing track, I'm not going to have the drum, so I will mute that channel. I'm not going to have bass, so I'm going to mute that channel. Let's say I want a little rhythm guitar, okay, on the track. And what else might I want? Let's just say for some reason I have a gig and I'm the only one singing. So I'll mute the lead vocal. So I will mute the vocal master and I'll keep the two harmonies. So now my backing track sounds like this. I don't know what this is going to sound like, so I'll listen to it. So what you're hearing is rhythm guitar and a 2-part harmony. Now I'm good with that. So what I'll do with that is I'll come over here and I will render that Control Alt R. It says Nightfall Click. Now what I'll do is I'll find a folder. It says Master Mix, entire project. This should work. I will figure out where I want to put it. And I think I'm going to just put this on my desktop because I'm just going to delete it when we're done. So I'll just put that out on my desktop. I will render one file, and that should not take too long. So there it's rendering. And you can, when you're looking at this, you can see the click on the top and the music on the bottom. And that is actually kind of small. So you know I'm doing to cancel this. And you got to watch for that. You got to look at your render window. Take another look at this. I want to look at my master output. So what I look at is what's coming out of the master track. I can see my click is clicking right about -12. My music is right about the same, maybe a little bit lower. -18. I shoot for -18, between 18 and 12. I like a lot of headroom. All right, so actually that looked pretty good. So I'm gonna do that again. I got everything. It saved everything. My folder, my desktop is still saved, which is nice. You don't have to redo that. Now I'll render this file. It says overwrite because I started one. So I'll go ahead and overwrite that, and there we go. Even though the file's really small, it should get a little bit bigger here in a minute. I think when we'll see what happens. So I just keep an eye on that. And I'm doing them as an MP3. So Reaper has a built-in MP3 converter. I think a lot of them do. There, it got a little bigger when the vocals kicked in. So it was just one guitar track. But my click is nice and fat. My rhythm guitar track looks good. Watching my decibel levels right here. Sometimes you got to watch for clipping. If you clip, it'll turn red. It'll be a little red area right there. Then you want to go back and do some adjustments because you don't want any clipping. So that's rendering. Give that a minute. So this is just one song. This is the process for one song. I've downloaded the files. I put them into Reaper. Panned, click left, main right. Did a little mix. Soloed or muted the tracks I didn't want. And there, I'm done. So now I'm done, kind of done with this. So I'll tuck this away. I keep all of my files that I've done this to in a separate folder. Now what I'll do is I'll come over here into a new project, and I'll do insert media. I'll go media file, and I will find that file. I'll just go to my desktop, Nightfall Click. I'll throw that in there. So, it put it in a weird spot, but that's okay. I can actually delete all these tracks that I don't need. So little tips as I go. Control and then drag. You can adjust the track height, and then when you let go, all of the tracks are going to be that height. So I want these all really small, so I'll just hit Control and I'll just close them all, and then they're all really small. Now I click the first track, hit Shift, hit the last track, hit Delete. And there, they're all gone. So now what I have is just a single track with that song on it. Now I can hit this and I'll hear click on the left. And music on the right. Once you get to this point, you're going to want to do all of your songs. Like this is just one song. So if I want to do multiple songs, I'll import them all. And, well, let me see. I got one other I can import here that I have that has been mixed down. Give me a second to find it. Downloads. Oh, oops. Put it in the wrong place. I want to put it out. Put it out here so they don't overlap. Do that again. Insert media file. There. And then I put it in right there. So once again, so now I have two different songs. And if you look at these, you'll see that this WAV file these WAV files are different sizes. That is not a good or bad thing necessarily. It just has to be addressed. So what I'll do is I'll play my initial song, and I'll look at my outputs on my master fader. This, I can't see the master fader. By the way, in Reaper, you hit View Master Track, and there it is. So now I have it, View Master Track. So it's right up here. We have a master, and then I can play it. Oh, that has lead in it too. That's funny. That's okay. And those look pretty good. So now what I'll do is I'll come over here to the next song, and I'll look, and I want to make sure that the click is the same. Because I might have to do some adjustments. So if you find that you have to make separate adjustments for each track, what I like to do is duplicate the track. So I'll duplicate this track. Where is my duplicate? Right here, duplicate tracks. So now I have two of the same track. So I will take the top one, pan it left. The bottom one, pan it right. So now I got my click on a different track. So I could just name this click. And then here is song. And I've got it panned. So now if I want to adjust the music, I'll do it up here. So if I need to make the music louder, and I'm just going to ignore the click track here because I'm not worried about that. And then down here, I can adjust this, and that'll adjust the click. So if I play this right, if I go over here and play this, and I look at my levels, like if I want to crank up my click, I'll crank it up right here with this volume adjustment in the track. All right, so another cool thing you can do for your track volumes is you can go to Control-P for Preferences, go to Media, or no, go to, let's see here, where am I going to? Appearance, Media. And right here is an option called Volume Knob. You hit that, apply, okay. And then it gives you a little volume knob right here. So that's another way you can do that. Now, it does have the track handles. I kind of go back and forth on this, but you can do that as well. So now I can play this, listen to my click. Mute the music and the click looks good, I think. Looks the same. Your drummer doesn't want different volumes on the click. You know, nobody wants that. The idea is, let's say, so I did a bunch of tracks for Rock Candy, right? And the problem that we were having is, like, some of the tracks that they were using were different volumes. So that is a mixing nightmare. So I redid all of the tracks and made sure that everything was the same volume. So when the drummer gets a nice loud click, it's going to be set like that for the whole night. You're going to set your mixer. That will be set like that for the whole night. Everything will be rocking and ready to go. So now, let's say you've got 20 songs and you're done. What you do is you'll have them all in a session that looks like this. Now here I have got 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I got about 33 songs in here that I've done. And if you look, and I'm not going to play any of these because these are all cover tunes. But what I've done here is I've taken each song. Okay, and what you do is you highlight the song. I've already done this, so you highlight the song, and then you go and you create region from time selection. And what that does is it creates these different regions for each song. So now each song within there is its own little island. And what I will do is I will go through each song and I will do these volume adjustments, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And I will get everything to match up. perfectly as far as the output goes based on my master faders. What's weird about this is if you look at all of these waveforms, they're different heights. The click track here is pretty consistent, but when you look at the music output here, they're all different, and that's just the way it goes. There was a time when I would do this years ago, and I would just learning. I would use the waveform, and I thought that if the waveforms were all the same, then the output levels would be the same, and that's not true, which is kind of weird. But it is what it is. I don't understand that. Maybe you do, and you can explain it in the comments. I would appreciate that. So now what I'll do, now comes time to render all these. So you've gone through all these steps, and the best thing to do is to just one render and render all of these out individually. I mean, you could do a time selection, but there is a way within Reaper to just render everything here. So if you look at this, panned hard right, panned hard left, everything's mixed. By the way, I do a lot more than just levels. I do compression and EQs. I do a lot more mastering, but I'm not going to get into mastering on here. I think that, especially if you're downloading the tracks, they're going to sound good. I'm just a little bit pickier about how the tracks come off live. So I'm not really going to get into that. We're just going to deal with what we're given. And usually it's pretty good and it's fine. So I will go to I'll hit Control-Alt-R. Okay. And up here, you'll see the render. These are all your render options. And I will go to Master Mix, All Project Regions. And you'll see here it says 33 regions. This is why I created the regions to begin with, to make sure that I'm not, spending, 2 hours rendering MP3s. So, and then you want to make sure this is $item. I think that's in the wildcards here somewhere. Yeah, right here. So you go to wildcards. Mine's just set for that. You go to media item information and hit item right there. And then you can go to the 33 files and you click on that and you will see what the name is going to be. Now you can see here all the names. That's the way 24K Magic, Bad Romance, Blinding Lights, Cake by the Ocean. But there's also a lot of other stuff here. That's because I had the files named something else. You won't have that problem. I just was doing some other stuff. And then you hit render. You should be all set, all ready to go. So you'll hit render. It says overwrite because I already kind of did this. I don't want to overwrite. I think what I'll do is I will pick a new location, browse for directory. I'll make a new folder, renders 2 on my, that's just right in the renders folder. So I'll do that. Now I know where they're going to go. So I will hit render 33 files, and this is pretty fantastic. So what it does is it'll start to render each file. Here's file 1. You see the click on the top. You see the music on the bottom. You're looking at your decibel levels right here. And there's the second render. And it'll just go through and it'll render all 33 songs. So I will cancel that and just kind of go to my desktop here, and I'll show you if I go to that renders folder, here they are right here. And like I said, mine was kind of weird because I had them named something else. So what I might do at this point is go through here and just back up all the extra junk. It just says 24K Magic now. And this is Bad Romance. Just kind of back that up. Bad Romance. Kind of keep doing that. And then there's my backing track right there. So now if I go to play this, what I'll do here to show you the end product is I'll put that into Reaper, new project tab. I'll just go to Insert Media, Media File. I'll go to my desktop where I kept that. I'll go to my renders, and I'll just import that. And I can't play it because it's not an original song. But there you'll have it. You'll see that's my backing track right there. So you can play this in Windows Media Player. That's what I do. You can arrange playlists in Windows Media Player for your first set, your second set. How you organize it, up to you. But you could just play them right off your laptop. Nothing fancy. I see a lot of bands, they do backing tracks and they have full sessions. Like they have the full Ableton Live, or they have Reaper, or they have Pro Tools. And they end up opening something that looks like this. And they have everything set up fine, but I like it to be more simple. I don't want to have to use my DAW to run backing tracks. So anyway, there you have it. Home recording demystified. This was a long one. This is a really fun process, man. I love using backing tracks, and a lot of bands are like, ooh, I don't want to use backing tracks. That's cheating, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? If you have a 3-piece band, you need some keyboards. You want a little this, some special effects even. This is a great way to do it. It's a combination of modern technology, audio engineering, and you're still live. You're still doing everything live. So I have no problem using backing tracks. Anyway, that does it. If you guys have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Like I said, I've been asked about this countless times over the years, and even recently. So I kind of thought, well, this is a good idea for my next Reaper tutorial. So anyway, there you have it. Backing tracks in Reaper. Everybody have a great day.